Have you ever encountered something like this before? If you have, and have had thoughts of punching the person in the face, then perhaps this video might be for you. Hey guys, as great a game as WoW is, all of us have encountered some form of toxic comments at one point or another. If you've ever been affected by any of them, know that you're not alone, and it's my hope that this video might help you overcome and avoid such negativity for your journeys in Azeroth. And perhaps maybe you could even help someone else in the process. 1. Understand why. In order to tackle this issue, we first have to understand it. Why do people throw malicious comments at others with the explicit intent of putting them down? When you encounter such an experience, the first thing you must realize is this. A toxic person's behavior isn't personal. More often than not, this person expresses such behavior towards many others that he or she meets. Whether it be in-game chat, forum posts, or social media comments, it's more than likely that a clear pattern can be identified with such people. A one-off comment meant to belittle another from someone who does not partake in such behavior regularly is exceedingly rare. The key point to take note of is that these players are not lashing out specifically at you. More often than not, someone is lashing out at you because you are the most immediate outlet available to them at the time, whether it be because you grouped up with them in a pub or encountered them in a battleground. They are lashing out at the world in general, and unfortunately you just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The problem is with them, not you. Remember that. This leads directly to the next point. They are the problem, not you. People who are happy and productive in life, a life filled with positivity and meaning, have no time or reason to harass or start arguments with someone, much less a faceless stranger on the internet. They do not need to tear others down in order to make themselves or their day feel better. This concept of trolling or hurling malicious remarks at others is foreign to anyone who lives a fulfilled and happy life. Imagine someone who constantly goes online just to shoot others down, responds to everyone's posts with insults, goes out of his or her way to whisper others about how much of a crappy player they are, berating other complete strangers that never deserved such treatment, completely corrupting the atmosphere and experience for many others in the process. Do these sound like an immense waste of time to you? An absolute ugly form of behavior you would never partake in? If you do, then great. You are a normal, rational human being, and you fall within the vast majority of people who would much prefer spreading positivity than negativity. Why exactly do they do this? As hinted earlier, people like them don't do it for personal reasons. The problem lies with them, not you. And it's a sad thing really. More often than not, when someone tries to hurt someone else, it's most likely because they are the ones hurting inside. Something is frustrating them, something is causing them to feel pain, and they don't know any better way to handle it other than to release it on others. Have you ever encountered a situation in real life whereby you were actually frustrated at yourself? Perhaps, for example, because of your lack of progress in a particular area in life, and you bottled it up and one day released it on an unsuspecting loved one? I'm sure you have, we all have, and we regretted it immensely after. We never meant to hurt someone else, but we were hurting so badly inside that we just wanted another person to unleash our pain upon. In other words, something has happened or is happening to this person's life at one point or another, causing him or her to indulge in such toxic behavior for extended periods of time. It's not you, it's them. People who enjoy happiness and positivity in life don't partake in such toxic behavior, and it's really an unfortunate thing. 2. How to handle a situation. The easiest way, and it's the way I would personally recommend, is just to avoid them altogether, whether it be deleting their comments on your social media or forum posts, or ignoring the player in-game. Why does this work? The only thing that a toxic person wants from you is for you to respond. They want to elicit some sort of response from you so that they feel heard. If you respond in anger or frustration, which is most probably what they are feeling, all the better for them, as it inherently feeds into the cycle of negativity that they want to suck others into. And I know it's very tempting to respond. It's understandable. I do too. It's in our human nature to defend ourselves and fight back, especially when the other party is in the wrong. But think about it this way. They want to get into an argument with you. They want to snap back at you and test your resolve. They want you to break so that they can feel better about themselves. The moment you respond, they will never leave you alone because they know they've got you and they're getting what they want. They will hound you to the ends of the earth. Have you ever experienced or seen others retaliating towards a toxic person, blocking them after a short conversation, only for that toxic person to log onto another character and continue the flaming? Have you also experienced the flip side, whereby you just didn't respond to the toxic person and they very quickly left you alone? Nobody wants to talk to a wall, not even an exceedingly frustrated person. So, rise above it. Don't play their game. Don't feed into their negative cycle. Just don't respond at all. Ignore them, block them, and remove them from your memory. If you wouldn't let someone into your house just to get into an argument with them, you sure as heck shouldn't let them enter your virtual life either. Help them. Remember how we covered earlier that these people are most probably experiencing pain or going through a really tough time? If you've ever worked in a customer service department before, it might have been shared with you that a complaint is simply an opportunity to win over a loyal customer. A somewhat similar line of reasoning applies here. If someone is expressing toxic behavior towards you, they are basically reaching out for help, for someone who might be able to understand them, no matter how negatively they may be expressing it. If you've ever watched shows like Dr. Phil, a substantial number of his guests are expressing what could be considered as the ultimate forms of toxic behavior. However, he is able to identify what they are going through and supply them with the appropriate help that they need, whether it be through counseling or medication. More than anything, these people need help, a listening ear of sorts. Of course, this varies largely on a case-by-case basis, and some cases will be a lot more severe than others. If you feel like you're up to the task, you could try to engage them in a conversation, making sure to flood all of your own responses with positivity. Never put them down and just let them rant on you so that they can get it all out. The drawback of taking this approach is of course that it may not actually work. Toxic behavior stems primarily from emotional turmoil, so trying to convince someone from a logical standpoint would never work. Often lots of time would be required, much more than we could ever supply in a short in-game chat. Secondly, it might affect you and you may end up taking it personally, which is what we're trying to avoid in the first place. So, if you're unsure, the better approach would be to take the middle ground. Whatever insults they may be throwing at you, you can respond with a simple statement such as, "I'm sorry you feel this way. I wish you well and I hope you have a good day." Then place them on your ignore list and forget about them. This is healthy for you, as if you're able to do it in a genuine way, you will feel better about yourself, a sort of catharsis effect. And the other party wouldn't be able to respond properly to such positivity, almost always leaving you alone following that. If you truly are getting continually harassed, remember again, and I know I sound like a broken record at this point, it's not you, it's them. Internet bullying is a real thing, and as always, the problem lies with the bully, not you. Take some screenshots, open a ticket, and let Blizzard take the appropriate actions. I personally wouldn't recommend doing the right-click report thing, as I'm not too sure about the effectiveness of that function. At least for a ticket, there's a much higher chance for a GM to respond to you. I hope this video was able to help you in one way or another. Remember, the only person that can bring you down is you. For all the marvels that the internet has brought along with it, it's also become a breeding ground for people to be able to slam others without incurring any repercussions. WoW truly has one of the best communities out there. It has changed countless lives, forged unbreakable friendships, formed families, built childhoods, and saved people from the depths of depression or even suicide. However, you're bound to encounter one of these toxic experiences sometime during your journeys in Azeroth. Help that individual if you can. Always try your best to spread positivity into someone else's life, but also remember to take care of yourself first. If you can't or don't want to handle it, that's what the ignore button is for. And if you do feel depressed and crappy and realize that you are lashing out at others, please don't hesitate to find someone that you can share your thoughts with in a calm and collected manner. More than a game, WoW is a place to find friends, a community you can always get support in. Always remember that whatever you may be going through, you are strong enough to overcome it. And that's a wrap. I'll place a few links in the description for WoW communities that have been built upon wonderful levels of positivity that all are welcome to join. If you have any suggestions that you'd like to share, or if you have any effective methods to help deal with such situations, please feel free to leave a comment below, as they are most welcome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in Azeroth.